Hi, this is Kerry with Dynamic Motorcycle Accessories. I want to let you know about some adapters that we've made to allow you to use a XP backrest that you may have had on a bike. And you know, a lot of us change bikes along the way, and if your new bike takes a different style of backrest, these adapters will let you use your XP backrest on a rack that would use XPN, or XPN backrest on a rack that would use an XP, or even some adapters that would let you use our older style of backrest that had been just bolted stationary, and would let you use it on a XP or XPN style rack so that you can have that forward and back adjustment. Just a quick rundown on the differences between the three backrests. The XPN backrest has a narrow footprint. That's the bolt holes that attach it to the rack or mounting plates are about 6.5 inches apart. So you have those narrow slots at about 6.5 inches. The XP backrest, the bolt holes that attach it to the rack are about 8.5 inches apart. So when you look at that rack, these slots will be approximately 8.5 inches apart. Our older style of backrest, which we haven't used for quite a while, the bolt holes are slightly offset from each other on the bottom of the backrest. And if you have one of our racks or mounting plates, there would be 4 holes that it bolts into instead of the slots. So with our new adapters, it would allow you to use this older style with our newer style of racks, or XP on an XPN, XPN on an XP. Okay, we'll show you how these work. So the easiest one is adapting a narrow footprint XPN to work with the wider slot XP. And the way this will work is the backrest will sit over top of these plates like that, and we'll have some M6 by 12 button head screws and washers, and we'll apply Loctite to these. One tool that I've found useful for installing, taking on and off our backrests, is this little short tool from Harbor Freight that will let you get in underneath the backrest to tighten. And so anyway, these bolts will be tightened from the top. Just line it up just right directly over the mounting plate. So after that's tightened down with those 4 button head bolts, these countersunk holes in the foot of the adapter plate will be in the same position as if you had a wide XP backrest. So then you can just bolt it to your rack in the same way you would in any other installation. Okay, so the next one is a little not as easy to install as the first, but it still makes it so you don't have to buy a new backrest. So with our next one, if you have an XP backrest with a wider footprint and your new bike has the narrow slots. With these adapter plates, what you'll do is you're going to bolt them to the bike first, or to your adapter plates. Tricky thing with this one is in bolting it to the bike, it's going to possibly, these plates can cover up your mounting holes, so you may not be able to attach these plates to your mounting plates or rack first. You may have to install it on the bike, so that means getting your fingers underneath there, or using a box wrench with a piece of tape under it to hold your nut so that you can hold it in place underneath as you get your nut started. So one thing you'll need to do with this as you tighten these in place is, you've had a backrest before, and so you have an idea of the position that you want your backrest in. So these plates, I've started these nuts loosely so that I can slide these into a position of where I normally keep it. So if you have it slid all the way forward normally, just go ahead and do that. If you had scooted your backrest back to a point, just put it in the position that you had it before you tighten these down. Get these pretty snug to where you can just barely twist them. Set your backrest over top of it and make sure that the bolt holes line up. If you need to twist that plate just a little bit more to get them to line up, get that in place. And then go ahead and tighten these down nice and snug. Okay, so now that those are tight, we can go ahead and put our backrest over top. We'll use our M6 by 12 button heads with washers the washers will span the countersunk hole. Go ahead and get, and make sure you put Loctite on these. So with that, we're able to use a XP backrest on a rack with the XPN mounting slots. Okay, so our next one will be using our old style backrest that has the offset holes. If you are going to put this backrest on a bike that has the XPN or the narrower slots, like the bike that we just put that on, it's going to be just a similar attachment to where these mounting plates or adapter plates are going to be bolted to the rack first, to the rack or mounting plates. And it will just be installed the same way as the other one, to where after this is bolted in place, same way as the other, set this over top, and there will be the 4 button head bolts that will attach it to the adapter plates. Okay, if you're using the old backrest and going to put it on a rack that has the XP, the wider slots, this will be a little different. This adapter plate has a stud glued into it, which will go into the slot. You'll set the backrest over top of it, and you'll have a longer M6 button head bolt that will slide through the back hole all the way out the bottom, and a nut will go on to the bottom side of that screw. And then for the front hole, it will be the same M6x12 button heads that we used in the other applications. And then on the underside, we'll also put nut and washer onto the stud that's a part of the adapter plate. And that's how that's installed. So we hope these adapter plates make it a little easier for you guys to switch bikes and not have to buy new backrests and be able to take your backrest from your other bike and put it on your new one.